Sure.
You're doing that.
Hey guys, so just so you know, doing the secondary part of the smelting process. Sophia back here. So right now there is the foundry going again. But since we're waiting for it to heat up at the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through a short little amount of everybody that's actually here today. So as you know, me, Sophia, Hellcat and Aiden.
Hello.
And then, like I said, Buddy Steven from Amaranth Productions over here came to visit. Yes, we are. Right?
Oh, my.
Because I'm smelting part 2. But like I said, he was definitely going to be here. Make sure to check out his channel. It's amazing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Stand sword.
So like onto the game.
Right now, they are doing some things.
DDR on controller.
DDR on controller.
Oh my god, it's still too fast.
Look at him go.
Mm-mm.
I can feel the end cramps.
Nope, nope. Holy fuck, dude.
Look at him go. All right. Anyway, so just so you guys can see, there is some of the wire that is unstripped inside that box. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's all the stripped wire. This is the big ass box of aluminum cans plus all the cans in this, that half of which are on the floor. This is a foundry.
Pretty much it's a little miniature forge to melt down the metal. I got a job for you if you're interested.
Sure, what kind of job?
Okay. You have to come out your back door though.
All right.
All right.
You plug that back in?
Of course. What's all this shit? That's drop.
You're good, no
We
worries.
said where's
I already told everyone.
Yeah, it's a bunch of aluminum we melt down.
Yeah, this is all just aluminum cans that fell out of that bucket. And then we're melting that down for round 2.
Okay. Wait just a minute.
Surprise projects.
You know the white bins that we get around? Okay. The young whites, okay? Those boards, right? What I want to do is I want to get a piece of board and cut it like the dimension of what the top of the thing is, the upright is. Okay, snug. And I want you to put a hole in it. You know, I'll show you the size of the hole. And try to leave it up like a ½ inch and caulk it around so it looks like it doesn't look like a piece of wood, you know.
Yeah.
And because I want to put a light on top of it. Okay, so I'll draw a diagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you want to do, how you want to do it. So this is a good side for it. But anyway, whatever you have to buy, you know, I'll take care of you. Okay, so I'll draw it out for you. I know. It'll be easy for you, I know it will be.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Okay. So you got a job or something?
Not at the moment, no.
No? Okay, well, I'll help you pay bills.
But yeah, no, I can definitely do that.
I think you can, yeah.
Pretty sure I got all the tools I need to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to, that's, what's all this crap?
This is all the wire we're stripping that goes into that box when it's done, and that becomes the wire that we're actually melting down.
So you're saving a little, those cans?
Those are also getting melted down.
You want more cans?
If you have them, we'll
Oh,
definitely take them.
okay, yeah, because we trust the recycling. Okay.
Any aluminum cans.
Aluminum
all
cans.
cans. Set it this way.
Okay. All we do is just. You don't have a job yet, Ada?
Not yet. I'm in the process of starting a new job.
Okay. Not dancing in a strip joint, I hope.
No.
No.
How's your tenants coming? Are they okay? They doing fine? No, I guess.
For the most part.
One of them doesn't talk very much.
David, with all the tattoo on the face,
Yeah, because I wait for him all the time. He doesn't talk that much. And I'm a good person. I don't walk on him. Listen, do you guys like soup? I made okay. I made some real good stuffed pepper soup. So I'm going to bring you over some. Okay.
That'll definitely
Yes. Okay. And whatever. Okay. That's it. Okay. So I'll make the design and we can talk. Woody doesn't know what to go with. Okay.
Be
That's
very
like
careful
our
going
thing,
around that.
I know.
I don't want you to get hurt.
I know. Oh, you know about your water situation, right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
supposed to be.
Oh, you got a tattoo on your head.
Yes, but mine will be covered up by hair.
Yeah.
When my hair grows back out, mine will be covered up by hair. Mine's not on my face.
I know. Did you just have that put on?
Yeah, he got
Friday the
his.
13th tattoo.
Oh, God.
He got his and I got mine. So mine's just on my arm.
You know, when I get a lot of money, I'm going to invest in a doctor that removes tattoos.
Yeah?
I hate them.
Well.
I know. I have a granddaughter that has them here, and she has a couple here. She has some on her behind.
Yeah,
Okay, hon.
all of mine are in tasteful places, I promise.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, sweetie.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's Mary.
That was our neighbor, Miss Mary. She is fantastic. She takes care of us. Yeah, we're her unofficial grandchildren, and I do different jobs for her periodically, whenever she requests. She is an awesome old lady, and apparently we're getting soup. We're getting stuffed pepper soup, which I look forward to.
Yeah.
You should tell the guys we're getting some stuffed
Oh
pepper
yeah,
soup.
I should.
But there's a lot more time goes into the next smelting, because this one isn't aluminum. We're actually doing copper. And I just got done cooking steak for everybody, so that was pretty cool. I haven't actually cooked in my kitchen in a while. Hence the toothpick. But it's fun. Copper melts differently than aluminum, though. It takes a lot longer to heat up to melt copper. It's a much higher temperature. But you can clearly, I don't know if you guys can, but I can clearly see the flames. They are, it's like here. It's kind of one of those, you gotta be real careful. But you do need it to get hotter for this, so the flames have to be a little bit higher, which is kind of the ordeal, how this works. So,
I just confused Steven.
but
Like, well, you have fun with this. I'm gonna continue stripping wire. He said to me, he goes, Ron, he goes, have fun with that stripping. And so I just went, I was holding it like this, so I went like that, and just like, oh, okay.
Again. There you go. That is real good. Okay, see, this is what I want to put on the thing. Okay. Okay, is that okay?
yeah, you can do that.
But some of the openings are 4 inch and some of them are 5. Okay, so I wanted to go all the way down. So this is the only thing that sticks up.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
that's definitely doable.
Okay, sweetheart.
Can I hold on to this so I can make sure?
Oh, yeah, right there. Tell me how you like my soup, because if you really like it, I'll bring you more
Alright.
some other time when I make it.
Yeah. We'll let you know for sure.
You look good with your hair color that. Okay, sweetie. What do you make with this?
Just little nuggets. For right now, we're actually gonna. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of different stuff with it.
Okay.
But for now, I'm just making it into ingots so that it's easier to transport rather than a bunch of bundles.
Are you going to make any money out of it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's supposed to work.
That is the plan.
Oh, I don't want anybody more.
Not a bother. I know that. But yeah, Miss Mary, she's good. Good person. I just burned the shit out of my gloves. Oh well. Let's see if I can find my other ones.
If you expect anything different, that's on
With how you would eat it. All right, better gloves.
What happened to that one?
Kind of burnt them
Yeah?
a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, let's see.
Still solid?
Still pretty solid. Alright, so like I said before, takes a lot more heat and a lot more time for copper. So I'm not 100% sure how long that's actually gonna take. In the meantime, actually I don't even know. Let's see. I don't know.
So she's going to
Basically put wood around the top of the posts to be able to put lights. But she wants them to be those solar lights, so let's see how this works. Let's see. I don't know. The aspect for this one is a little bit different because it's not like it's aluminum. It doesn't. Because we pretty much stripped away all the excess on top of it before we even go through anything, it before we melt it all, before we like do what we do, there's not a whole lot of need for the borax. I mean, we're still going to use it just because of the impurities, because it does. Most copper wire has a little bit of zinc, so because of that, we do have to still use some, just not nearly as much. And I feel like you can't see my face at all just because of the lighting. And I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's really bright outside. I'm not used to dealing with super bright. Let me turn the light on here. Maybe we get some light so that it reflects back off of my face. And that did a whole lot of nothing. It is way brighter outside. I apologize. So I guess for the meantime, I'm going to turn this around to face the inside of the garage. I apologize for its messiness. It is going to be messy. Do a lot of stuff out here. So,
Just a second.
move that way. Do this. Sphere back there. Make her disappear with my fat ass. Ta-da! Alright.
Let's do the airspray.
Yeah. No, honestly, this is, like I said in the previous one, this is something I absolutely love to do. Kind of my childhood passion kind of ordeal. And like I said, I'm eventually going to get into steel and all of that so that I can actually make swords and whatnot. I've always had a real big passion for those, for that kind of weaponry, swords, axes, medieval time frames. I do have a collection myself of different variations of swords. I've got a lot of crap on my arm right now, trying to get some of it off. But for the most part, I don't know. Just, I don't know, living at the moment. I tend to try not to ramble too much, but I feel like I have, and I did a lot in the last one, just so it wasn't as boring of a process, because it is kind of boring. You just sit there and keep adding metal to it and let it heat up, melt, and then sit there and add more metal to it, heat up, melt, put some of the flux in there, and then stir it around, pull out the imperfections, add more metal, sit there, wait for it to melt. The process over and over and over and over again. It's a little bit different with the copper, just because the amount of time you have to wait in between the melting stage. It's kind of a lot more. But we also don't have to add as much flux to it because of the fact that we pull the sheathing off of it beforehand, before we even decide to throw it in the crucible whatsoever. So yeah, that's currently what she's working on back there, is literally just stripping the wire of its sheathing. Otherwise, it's that burnt, plasticky smell.
It's never a good smell.
It's like burning hair. Not very many people really like that smell. It causes a migraine for me. But I mean, that's why we get as much of it off as we can, and then hope for the best and work our way through there. But as far as all of that goes, for me, it's worth the process. I like to see the end results. I like to know how it's all coming out.
A few times I'm allowed to play with the copper.
Yeah, a few times she's allowed to play with sharp objects, period. But for those of you who know who we are, know what we're doing, awesome. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for your support, for everything, because without you guys, we wouldn't be anything. Not that we're much right now, but it's still a process. We're just starting off. But I do still appreciate it. We still appreciate it. All of us here still appreciate it. For those of you who are just tuning in, just seeing us for the first time, just finding us by chance randomly or clicked on us by accident and didn't mean to. We appreciate that too. Regardless, it's nice. It's good to see people watching it, and we're going to try to do a whole lot more as far as all that goes. One of our adventures is going to be geocaching eventually. I've said bum a lot. I fucking hate that. And I cussed. I apologize greatly. But we are going to try to do a whole lot of different things here and there. We're going to try to finish A Way Out soon. Real soon, I hope. Soon. And we're going to, hopefully, you'll get to see, maybe not a live stream of it, just because the amount of time it's probably going to take, but a sped up video of me working with some of the copper and aluminum and some of the things that I'm going to make out of it. And we'll do a sped up video of it all, just so you guys can see it in like 10 minutes rather than the probably hours it's going to take to do it. But the end result's going to be nice, hopefully, as long as I don't fuck up. And I cuss again, sorry. I'm trying really hard, guys. I really am. I'm terrible at not cussing. I am probably one of the worst people about that. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to try to get better at it. Probably not going to work very well, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try very, very hard.
Everyone hears cussing.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you take a step inside the door, you'll hear cussing probably about as much as if you went to an Irish dock and talked to a bunch of sailors. It gets bad. It's real bad. And it's not for any particular reason. It's just because
That's how we talk.
we talk like that. That's how we are, at least here. Not a whole lot I can do about that, sadly. But also not sadly, because, you know, it kind of makes us who we are. It kind of shows you a little bit about how we get along so well that we can literally cuss at each other and not take offense to it anymore. Where, I mean, early stages, if we had said something like F you to each other, it probably would have started a fight. But now we've gotten to know each other so much, it's like, F you. Nobody cares. Shut the F up. Like, that's normal conversation for us on a regular basis.
At one point, myself and Hellcat, we joke around and call each other names when we see each other. And we had our other roommate, Aiden, when we first met him, freak out thinking that we hated each other because we were calling each other names.
And that's what happens. But we're so used to it as a whole that nowadays it's nothing. It's another day. And that's kind of how things are for most people. It's like you get so used to certain things that it just becomes another day. Who knew? It's how life works, I guess.
Like turning the white wires.
Is it easier?
Yes. Because they don't stick to the freaking wire.
Yeah, that is a problem you'll come across. Most of the wire that you see back there, it actually comes from a house that was built in the 50s. And they used to actually put glue on the wire before they would put the sheet over it.
I hate them.
And so, like, and not over like the whole wire, just like a line down one side. And if you don't literally trim off that line, it'll get stuck, and it's a pain. It sucks so bad because you'll be pulling, and all of a sudden you'll hit a point where you didn't pull that wire off, and it'll just catch, and you'll just rip really hard, and all that wire that came off prior to it will rip at that seam and just stop. And then you have to like mess with it and pry at it and cut it away a whole bunch in order to actually get the results you're looking for. But it becomes a very, very long process, especially when you're like me, and I literally collected the entire household's worth of wire because we replaced every bit of wiring in that house. This was back when I worked construction. And because we replaced all of the wiring with brand new wiring, I decided to take all of the wiring with me, and it was roughly 220 pounds of wiring with sheathing, and the sheathing doesn't make up hardly any of the weight. So when it all comes off, we're looking at closer to 150 to 175 estimated pounds of just solid copper, which is cool because right now I think copper is going for like 214 or 248, somewhere in that range per pound. So, do 100 pounds at, we'll say 214. 100 pounds at 214, that's $214 right there. So, I mean, it can go for quite a bit.
That's better for you.
Yeah, it's definitely better if you can purify it and make it just pure copper, because the more pure the copper is, the more money you can get out of it. Honestly, it really is. And I think that's pretty cool. But, I mean, I like metals. I also work with cast iron. I don't actually like melt it down because
We don't
This-
have a big enough number.
this doesn't go that high. Not even close.
We also don't have a big enough.
And yeah, we don't have a big enough foundry or forge to do that. We need something way bigger. Especially since the pieces I generally have are like this big and I don't want to have to smash it. Oh, just a hell of a lot. Because I've already had to do that to get them down to pieces this big. And they're not thick. They're only maybe like half an inch thick. But they're just, like I said, some of them are like this long, odd shapes. Actually, I can hold up a piece for you. Hold on. Let me find one down here. So, just to kind of give you a general idea, this is just one, and this is one of the smaller pieces as far as the big chunks go. This is one of the smaller pieces I have. I do have a bunch of like pieces I've knocked off of this. This used to be much bigger, but I do have other pieces I knocked off of this already to make stuff out of. So, I mean, there is always that. Fuck, I went back to sale. Cussing again. And I said again. And that was not the first time since I said I was going to try to stop. Things to work on. Things to really work on. Oh, God. Well, I'm going to double check on the foundry real quick, see if it actually is starting to melt. Hopefully it is. Otherwise, this video is going to be a lot longer. And there we go again. That damn, it's going to be the death of me. Actually, probably not. But, going to check on the foundry, see if any of the copper is actually melted down that I already put in there. Hopefully it is, because then I can start to add actually more copper instead of just having the ingot that I had in there. Which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, when you are using a foundry and a crucible and you're trying to melt, whether it be aluminum or copper, if you already have pre-melted, purified aluminum or copper, if you put that in first and let that melt first, the process goes a lot smoother and a lot quicker. But if you don't, you generally have to wait a while for that whole thing to heat up. So like a whole can or a whole bundle of copper. Like, I mean, it can take quite a bit of time. Just because it's having to get up to temperature to melt. But once it's already melted, once it's already started melting, that melted material mixes with and grabs hold of the other material and it actually goes a lot quicker. Now, copper, however, because it's so dense, it does take a lot longer regardless than aluminum. Aluminum is a very lightweight, very, very lightweight material. But because it is like that, it is something that melts a lot quicker. There's a lot more air in between. Copper is far more dense, and it does take a lot longer. It just because heat has to travel through the whole thing for it to actually fully melt, and that takes time. It really does. But I'm gonna check on the foundry, see if it's actually working up to snuff, where I can actually start adding some more copper to it. And I'll be back like 30, 40 seconds ish, somewhere like that. Unless it's ready, and then it'll be a little bit longer. So let's wait for it. Let it hit 30 seconds, and yeah, we'll go now.
There we go. No, not nothing.
So it turns out it is actually melting, which is good. That's what I wanted to hear or see at this point.
Nice and toasty.
Nice and toasty. So, like I said, it is a process. It does take time. Just added another chunk of copper, like wiring bundled up, wrapped around itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, with like 5 or 6 pieces of wire that's anywhere from this long to like 6 to 10 feet ish, and just a whole bunch of different layers of that, and put that in there to start melting. Yeah, I honestly I understand this process is boring, really boring. That's why most people don't do live streams of it, because it's just a really long, boring process. But it's this is like 4th or 5th smelt for me, and I really enjoy this. It's kind of like my getaway thing. Kind of calms me when I do stuff like this. Projects.
I got like 3 or 4 pieces already done.
It's relax.
Hey there.
She's back. But it's nice. It really is.
Steven's doing more
DDR.
DDR. Probably so.
As far as for stripping the wire for copper wiring, if you get a hold of some and you want to do it, highly recommend getting like either a Milwaukee or a Husky box cutter with the trapezoid exchangeable blades. Simply because Milwaukee's a really good brand, so is Husky. Their box cutters last quite a while. Husky one that she's using currently, actually.
She went to Craftsman.
Yours is a Craftsman? Okay, so that one's your grandfather's. The one she's using is actually your grandfather's, who passed away a few years back. But he's had that for a really long time. I've had this since I worked construction, which was 2.5, roughly 2.5 years ago. So this is 2.5 years old, and it's still going strong. The only thing you really need to keep up with is changing your blades out, making sure you stay sharp with it, because if it dulls, and you cut yourself, it's gonna hurt way worse than if it's sharp. That's for damn sure. Clean cuts, you won't feel them. They'll just happen, and you'll see it, and you'll be bleeding, and it's a clean cut, but you won't feel it. Initially, you'll feel a sharp sting, but for the most part, the clean cut you won't feel. if a dull blade cuts you, you feel every bit of that cut through. And it sucks. I've had multiple of both. This finger right here, I actually cut off the tip of this finger at a slant like that. This thumb, you see, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but if you see this part, how it's more flat, it's because I cut off the tip of that part. You got, I don't know how well you guys can see. I don't know if you can see that scar right here on my finger. Had a blade cut into my hand right there, all the way down to the tendon. That should suck. Scar on my wrist right here, about just like that. I mean, I get cut up all the time. It's not new to me by any means. Not just from my jobs, but on a regular basis doing crap at home. It's the dogs, yeah. Dogs, when their nails aren't trimmed, become little dull razor blades, honestly. And just how it happens. Yep, they just want love, so they'll jump on you. And I love my dogs. Don't get me wrong, I love my dogs. But they don't watch where they jump all the time. They don't.
Springboard off of that.
We have a Chiweenie, and he likes to use my crotch as a springboard to jump to mom, or to literally anybody. Not always the funnest thing.
And there was faith with the whale.
We're not gonna get too far into it, but yeah, Faith being a whale, basically her name was called, and she, instead of being a dog, getting up, standing up, and then going in that direction, she decided to just go from laying down to and then flopping over like a whale breaching out of water. That was like the whole process, and it was interesting, but it hurt because I was underneath the blanket that she was on top of. So her head met my head, and neither one of us were happy after that. But she's a good dog, very loving. She's a pit bull terrier mix, is what we're told. The pitty we see, terrier not so much, but she's a real good dog, very loving, very caring. She doesn't have a harmful bone in her body. The most harm she can do is when she wags her tail against your leg, and it's just out of pure excitement. And it feels like a very small, spiky haired hammer. She's got a big tail. But she's a good dog. Our Chiweenie's a good dog too. His tail feels more like a miniature whip. So either way, either one of the dogs that uses tail whip, it's very effective. Very, very effective.
And if you get that reference, kudos to you.
Yeah, if you get that. But I don't want to keep y'all too long for this one. Just because, again, copper takes way longer to melt, so the process takes a lot longer. But I do want to say thank y'all for watching, for seeing, for being here. And I will be back on at a later time with results closer to the end of the smelt. I'll jump back on again. And you'll get to see the end results of the copper smelting process. And we'll see how many different ingots I get out of this one. Whether it's tin, like the little muffin tin ones, or if I use the bar cast, then I'll get another bar out of it. In which case, each of those bars is roughly about anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds, so that's not too bad. Can't really complain, But we'll see. We'll see where we get. Anyway, thank y'all for watching, and remember, make the best of what you got, the best of the situation with what you got, and always be confident with you. Because if you're not happy with you, how can you expect other people to be? Take the time out of your days to make yourself happy too. It's probably the most important thing you can do. I know this firsthand. I have a lot of issues with being confident in myself. But just remember, you're important. Hey, look, it's Nathan.
So,
Hi.
I have an idea.
Oh my
We're
god.
doing a thing.
I guess I'm staying again.
Okay.
Our people when that was posted went to go to Twitter Lakers to pick up something because I figured would you guys actually do a drunk gaming streaming night?
Instead of going to double touchdown?
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah. So guys, new thing, new development that just happened to come across. No. Come on. Because we're still on here.
Oh,
We get to tell everyone what our new idea is.
all right.
Or, well, your guys' new idea that I'm definitely taking part in.
So, tonight, we are going to do something I like to call drunk gaming. So, we're going to get alcohol and we are going to play certain games. And those games come with rules. And when those rules go through, if something happens, you have to take a shot. The goal is to get fucked up while playing this game.
Which would make this very interesting.
What's
So
the
this-
game though?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh no, Heather.
Oh no, we play Drunk Souls. We're done.
Yeah.
No.
That's
You and I'll be good.
Yeah, we're good. We're golden. We do this shit. We play Dark Souls all the time.
We play Dark Souls until we memorize that shit. That way we can fucking grind.
Yeah.
so not Dark Souls.
Hospital
no,
visits
no.
are not needed today.
We do have monkey ball upstairs.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, we
For
do have
GameCube.
a GameCube with Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, turn out.
That's
I just realized what that was.
We have a lot of games.
We are in the nerd house.
So that's happening.
Yeah, so please join us for that. Come watch us, and that's going to be really interesting.
Oh boy.
Told you, it's definitely going to happen.
This is the plan now.
Take care of yourself, because clearly we're not going to do that tonight. Have a good one, guys. Thank you all for watching, and join us later tonight for our drunken gaming stream, hopefully. But we'll see y'all there, and yeah, I got nothing else on that. Oh god. Oh god.